In the last 10 minutes, something happened that has completely shaken the scientific community, space agencies, amateur astronomers, and anyone who has been following the mysterious object known as 3I Atlas. What was once described as a fast-moving interstellar visitor has now crossed a line that many experts once said would never be crossed in our lifetime. According to multiple independent observatories, 3I Atlas has just transmitted a structured signal. Not noise, not radiation, not a random burst. A signal that, when decoded, resolves into binary code. And when that binary code is translated, it delivers a single, chilling word. Wait. This is not a movie plot. This is not a teaser for a sci-fi novel. This is unfolding right now, in real time, and the implications are far bigger than most people realize. Until now, 3I Atlas was already controversial. Its trajectory was unusual. Its acceleration did not fully match known natural models. Its brightness fluctuated in a way that confused even veteran astronomers. Some suggested outgassing, others suggested exotic physics. A small but growing minority suggested something far more uncomfortable, that this object was not entirely natural. Then came the signal. Late last night, data analysts working with a global radio telescope network noticed an anomaly, a repeating pattern embedded within background cosmic noise. At first, it was dismissed as interference, satellite bleed-through, equipment error. But the pattern persisted, and more importantly, it appeared synchronized with the predicted rotational period of 3I Atlas. When other observatories were alerted and pointed their instruments toward the same coordinates, they saw it too. Identical timing, identical structure. The signal was brief, but precise. A series of pulses arranged in a way that immediately stood out to anyone familiar with digital encoding. Ones and zeros. Binary. The oldest, simplest language for transmitting information across vast distances. The kind of language humans themselves chose for early attempts at interstellar messaging. As decoding began, tension spread through research groups. The pulses were slow enough to be intentional, clean enough to be artificial. And when the binary string was translated into ASCII format, the result stunned everyone involved. 5 letters, no punctuation, no additional data, just one word. Wait. At first, disbelief dominated the reaction. Scientists are trained to be skeptical, and extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence. Teams triple-checked their math, re-ran the decoding process using different assumptions, verified timestamps and instrument calibration. Every path led to the same conclusion. The message was not a coincidence, it was not an artifact, and it was not coming from Earth. The word itself raises more questions than it answers. Wait for what? Wait how long? And perhaps most unsettling of all, who is speaking? If this were a hoax, it would require a level of coordination, secrecy, and technical sophistication that borders on impossible. The signal was detected by independent systems in different countries, operated by organizations that do not share real-time data by default. For all of them to be fooled in the same way would be unprecedented. And yet, official statements so far have been cautious to the point of silence. Some agencies have acknowledged anomalous signal activity. Others have refused to comment at all. Behind the scenes, however, sources describe an atmosphere of controlled panic. Emergency meetings, secure calls, protocols that until now existed only on paper being dusted off and reread. Because while humanity has long debated the possibility of extraterrestrial intelligence, very few believed that first contact would come in the form of a command. Astrophysicists point out that the object's trajectory makes this even stranger. 3I Atlas is not orbiting our sun like a typical comet or asteroid. It is passing through, fast, deliberate, as if it has been here before, and as if it knows exactly where it is going next. The timing of the signal appears to coincide with a slight change in its velocity, subtle but measurable, enough to suggest control rather than chance. Skeptics argue that we are projecting meaning onto randomness. that binary patterns can emerge from natural processes. That wait may be a coincidence shaped by our own expectations. But even many skeptics admit quietly that this coincidence is uncomfortably precise. The word wait is not neutral. It implies intention, awareness, anticipation. It suggests that something else is coming, and that whoever sent the message expects us to notice, to understand, and to pause. Social media has already erupted. Some call it the greatest discovery in human history. Others call it a psychological operation, a warning, a test. Religious interpretations have surfaced within minutes, as have conspiracy theories claiming governments have known about 3I Atlas for far longer than admitted. But beyond the noise, a deeper, more unsettling realization is beginning to take hold. For the first time, humanity may not be the only side waiting. There is also the uncomfortable fact that the message was not complex. No equations, no star maps, no explanations. Just one word, chosen with what feels like deliberate restraint. That alone suggests intelligence far beyond our own assumptions. Because if this is a non-human intelligence, it clearly understands something fundamental about us, that we will fill the silence ourselves. And we already are. Experts in linguistics and information theory note that wait is a remarkably efficient message. It requires minimal decoding effort. It minimizes the risk of misunderstanding. It avoids cultural specificity. Almost any technologically capable civilization that understands binary and symbolic language could grasp it. In other words, it may have been designed not just to be sent, but to be understood by us specifically, which raises a question that no one wants to say out loud yet. Are we being observed? If 3I Atlas is capable of transmitting a message, then it is capable of far more than we have assumed. Communication implies sensors. Awareness implies observation. And if observation is happening, it likely did not begin yesterday. The message may not be the beginning of contact, but the moment contact became unavoidable. The call to wait could be interpreted as a warning not to act, not to approach, not to interfere, or perhaps not to panic. Some researchers suggest it may be a response to us, our probes, our signals, our increasing technological noise spilling into space. A way of saying, we see you, but not yet. The silence from official channels only amplifies the tension. Historically, moments like this are when information control tightens, not loosens. The fear is not just public panic, but geopolitical instability, because if this is real, it changes everything. Borders, power structures, belief systems, humanity's place in the universe. And yet, despite all of that, the message itself remains calm, almost patient. No threat, no demand, no explanation, just time. Astronomers are now racing to monitor 3I Atlas around the clock. Every fluctuation, every photon, every whisper of radio noise is being scrutinized. The possibility of a follow-up transmission looms over every data stream, and with it, the fear that waiting may not be optional. Some speculate that the object is approaching a critical point in its journey, a maneuver, a rendezvous, a departure. Others suggest that the message may be time-locked, a precursor to something that will only make sense later. That the word wait is less a request and more an instruction for our own survival. As of now, no further signals have been confirmed. Just silence. And that silence feels heavier than anything transmitted so far.